He hurdled a defender into the end zone for 6 points.
The Coach Beck Show is brought to you by CDL Electric, Holy Automotive, KSN Television, Via Christi Hospital, and Watco Company. Now, let's go live to Chatters with the voice of the Gorillas, Eddie Lomshek.
Was a former All-American offensive lineman. They do a really good job of coaching their offensive line. They run the outside zone play really well, where they rip and run those guys laterally and let the back find a crease and go. And they just do a nice job offensively. But you have to give our defense and coaches a lot of credit. Well, we just really did some nice things and really got some people to the ball and did a great job of shutting them down in the first half.
And you played too. Tyler Shaw's a track guy for them, man. He can flat scoot. And Keyston Terry banged up, doesn't play. And you guys like to bring secondary pressure. Talk about the play of Jake Catloth. We just mentioned him last week, but it seems like he was covering deep a lot during that game.
You know what? Jake came in and did a really good job for us. Was just very solid. Made a tackle here and there when he had to, and did a really fine job for us. And really proud of how he did. And Jake's, again, he's one of those guys. He's worked himself into a player. Got great work ethic, and just really, rose up when he had the opportunity the other day.
Well, they're at the 44. Devontae Bosby gets the first pick. He'd have another one. That's exciting for him. He's a Kansas City, Missouri kid and played last year as a true freshman. How much different a player is he this year?
He's a much better player, and I don't think he's quite 100% yet. He had an ankle injury a couple of weeks ago, and he's kind of played through that. You still see him limping every now and then, but boy, the first interception was a great break by him. He really breaks hard and comes hard forward, and if he'd have been able to keep his feet, when he picked it, he probably would have scored. And but just nice job of scouting the play by our defensive coaches, and great job by him on making a super break.
Yeah, the play was, and we heard it there coming out, but they have Jordan Simmons, the running back, in the slot, and it seems like a lot of times they'll clear out vertically and then break that back off, and so I guess he's passing off that vertical guy to a safety?
Yeah, and they, like I said, they do a lot of different things with him. But he's such a good athlete that they play him in the backfield, and he's a good running back as well. And then they were able to throw it to him out of the backfield, and then line him up as a receiver and throw the ball to him. So he's a very versatile player. And like I said, our defensive coaches did a really good job of getting him scouted.
And one more thing for Bosby, it's he's slender, he's put on some weight in the year. You expect that, but what's it like to have a corner with his length at 6'2"?
Well, it's really nice. He's a fine player. When we recruited him, we weren't sure if we were going to play him as a receiver or corner, and he came down to Pittsburgh after his senior year in high school and spent all summer here and just went out and did a lot of 7-on-7. Kind of decided on his own that he really would like to play corner if he could, and it's really nice to have a guy that has that kind of length. And he's a much better player than he was a year ago, and Coach Wiemers is really excited about his future.
Well, first of two for him, and it would stop a Northwest threat, and then back and forth. Both defenses would continue until early in the second quarter, and Pitt State would finally flip the field a little bit and get on the scoreboard. We'll take another break with Coach Beck. When we come back, we'll get into that second quarter and a 7-0 halftime lead. Back to Chatters, more of the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric after this.
Digging deeper to make ends meet? Now you can get a 30% tax credit with a geothermal heat pump system from Climate Master. Climate Master geothermal systems tap the constant temperature of the earth to provide heating, cooling, and hot water while keeping your home comfortable all year long. Plus, Climate Master systems are incredibly efficient. If you're interested in saving up to 80% on your energy cost, call CDL Heating and Cooling for a free estimate in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, and Nevada. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Here's the snap. Chevy runs deep. And the pass. Holy moly. Chevy Silverado with a big catch.
Chevy Cruze blocking the competition. And look at Silverado go.
Chevy outperforming everyone.
Chevy at the 10, the 5, touchdown. Moley Automotive.
Moley Chevrolet GMC of Pittsburgh wins the game. And all fans get up to $8,000 off all remaining 2012s in stock.
Moley Chevy GMC of Pittsburgh, your four-state Chevy Buick GMC dealer. Proud supporter of Pitt State Gorilla Football.
Moley Automotive. Best price always. days.
In 1983, Dick Webb started a contract switching business at the kitchen table of his Pittsburgh home. It took one man with vision and determination who thought he could to launch an international company that is proud to call Southeast Kansas home. This vision and determination is practiced every day by the 3,000-plus team members that serve our customers and follow Watco's Customer First Foundation principles to improve customer satisfaction, improve profitability, and do all for the long term in a safe manner. Watco supports Pittsburgh Community Athletics and wishes the Pitt State Gorillas the best of luck.
Gorilla fans, for the best Pittsburgh State football coverage, tune in to KSN 16, your hometown sports. I'm Eric Kinnett. We'll have those highlights after every Pitt State game, and during the week, we'll have the latest news and preview the next opponent. And don't forget about the Tim Beck television show every Sunday night on KSN after the evening news. So if you love Pitt State football, check us out. KSN 16, your hometown sports with Eric Kinnett.
Because your life matters, Via Christi Cancer Center in Pittsburgh is equipped with the latest treatments and the expertise needed to accurately treat all types of cancer. We realize that when we're treating cancer,
we are really treating people
who, more than anything else, want to receive the care they need while staying close to home. Via Christi Cancer Center, because your life matters.
Snap to Abinoa, throws, seam route, caught, touchdown Gorillas! Abinoa to John Brown on 3rd and 8, 13 yards, and Pitt State draws first blood.
8:60 AM, KKOW.
Welcome back to Chatters and the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric. Eddie Lomshek along with Pitt State head football coach Tim Beck. Draw another name there, Coach. We'll give away another $25 certificate to Fat Daddy's. Dine-in only, drinks included. Expires at the end of the calendar year. Dean Krager, come on down and claim your prize. So we know that'll get put to use, so enjoy that. Thanks again to Ahmad and his staff. Also, out of that second break each week, we like to talk about the Gorilla Alerts texting member service trivia contest in conjunction with Vital Signs. And this week, the focus on homecoming. You need to be a member of the Gorilla Alerts texting service. Go to the website, pittstategorillas.com. Click on the Gorilla Alerts button. Totally free service. Play trivia throughout the school year. Vote on player of the game, things along those lines. Receive some news updates, and it's multiple choice. You text back in your best guess, and they'll let you know if you win. This Saturday, homecoming. Pitt State 51-10-2 all-time in homecoming, or since 49 anyway. MIAA rivals Emporia, Hayes, Washburn most frequently over the years. Which current MIAA team have the Gorillas never played on homecoming? The options were Central Missouri, Missouri Southern, Missouri Western, and Nebraska Kearney. And the correct answer was B, Missouri Southern. Pitt State and the Lions have played 44 times, it says here, since Southern left the junior college ranks and became a four-year school. But Pitt State has never hosted Missouri Southern on homecoming. And Chris Walker of Pittsburgh knew that. He'll get a pair of tickets to the home game against Lindenwood November 3rd, courtesy of Pitt State Athletics and Vital Signs. So go to pittstategorillas.com. Be sure and sign up for the Gorilla Alerts texting service. So, Coach, second quarter starts there. You guys have traded punts again. A couple of touchbacks, and you've been close on some punts inside the 5, and it's a little more hang time or not quite able to cover it, but you guys have been close to some awfully good punt covers.
We've been really close, and we just can't seem to get it down on the 1. We need to quit being quite so greedy too. We don't have to have it on the 1. Just
take the 3
inside the 5 would be great, but unfortunately we've been really close. Just haven't got it done yet.
A couple of flat kicks that just did trickle, and even on the natural grass and a wet field, you think it's going to be soft and kill the ball. That wasn't the case at all. But you're pinned at your own 18, and then you have that drive and a punt, another punt. So they've punted first 5 times of the they've had the football. So your defense, let me start there because your run defense was awfully good early. It turns out they would end up running the ball pretty effectively later in the game. But what were you seeing from your defense first half?
Well, we just did a pretty good job up front. That's the one thing that you have to be really careful with them is losing your gaps defensively because, they run a lot of things so lateral and really run their offensive linemen hard. And if you get guys out of their gaps, the next thing you know, the gaps have changed. And the next thing you know, James Franklin, who can stop on a dime, can turn it up this way or that way or go out the back end. And so, for the most part, we were getting people where we needed to get them in the run game early on and getting a lot of people there. There's a couple times James made a, lateral cut to the outside, and by that time our safeties were there, and we had really good safety help with Jason Pete and Bryant Sanchez.
Yeah, Pete and Franklin, both the Olathe North guys out of the same year and very good players, and both Nebraska-Omaha transfers. People see that stretch play, that outside zone, whatever you want to call it, a hand sweep. Quarterback sprints to a point and meets the running back. The ball's extended, and the line, you see them walling guys, the offensive line. How much of that's designed to go to a specific hole? How much is designed to allow for a cutback?
Yeah, it's a good question, but the bottom line is they try to get it to the edge if they can get it, but with the backs that they have, they're just so good at starting you that direction, and they'll get everybody running full speed. And then, like I said, if anybody's out of their lane or if there's a crease somewhere, then they'll cut it anywhere. That's what makes it so tough to defend, because they can cut it from all the way to the left side line all the way back to the right hash, basically. So it makes it tough. But again, just our guys just did a really good job of defending early on.
Your scoring drive, it was beautiful. Start at your own 16, 10:01 to play in the half, 13 plays, 84 yards, very, very methodical drive, 5 first downs along the way. You were winning that battle of third downs. In a game like this, two teams you figure that are pretty even and similar in some ways. How important does third down become?
Well, it's huge, and especially in a game like that, third downs are just so important. And then what are you going to do on fourth down? And obviously we went for one and didn't get it, which was a huge play in the game. But you've got to convert those third downs, keep things going, and we've got the potential to not panic now if it's in third and long, where it used to be third and longs were just really tough for us to convert those. But we're better in the pass game, so it makes it a little bit easier to do some of the time, and it opens up some other things for us too. But the problem with what we're doing now is we're in a little bit third and 7 or more. We're in it a little bit too much.
Yeah, you say that with the pass game, but it's a good example. I don't care who you are. When it's 3rd and 8, the other team knows you're probably going to pass. Not many teams run it, and it does let them pin their ears back a little bit. The touchdown, great catch by John, high above his head. He takes a big shot in the back. What did you see on that play, or what was that play?
It was really nice, well-designed play. We were in 5 wides at the time, and put him in a different position, had him as the inside receiver to the 3 receiver side. And so we got a good matchup with a backer coming underneath him and a safety coming over the top of him. And it was, really, like you said, it was a really nice throw and catch. The throw was right where it needed to be, because if he'd underthrown it anymore, it would have hit the back of the defender. And so in a position, kind of threaded it in there, and really nice acceleration by John on that, and nice vertical route. And, again, the safety was not fast enough to get there.
Hang on, took a big shot. You mentioned John on the inside. It brings up the point of why do some teams, you don't have to divulge everything in your playbook, but why do you do certain things to get certain players in the slot as opposed to on the edge?
Well, normally John lines up as an outside receiver, and so most of the time a corner's going to line up on him. But if you just lined up in 2 backs with 2 receivers and he was the inside receiver, then there's a good chance that the corner from the other side will come over and play him. So now once you get an outside receiver on both sides of the field and then put him as an inside receiver, now they've got to make a decision. Are they going to be in an uncomfortable position and put their corner inside where normally a safety would be, or are they going to line up a safety over the top of him? So, it's kind of a cat and mouse game on what you do, but the bottom line is you put him in a different position where he normally lines up, then they've got to make a decision. Are they going to do something different than they normally do defensively, or are they going to try to bracket him with a linebacker and a safety, or how are they going to cover him? And so there's a lot of strategy that goes into where you line them up.
And then the other thing about that is all the motions and shifts that we see in football now. Central does it a ton, Northwest a little more. How much of some of that stuff is just a token flip of the tight end as opposed to they're trying to get a specific matchup?
Well, offensive coordinators like to call it window dressing. There's a lot of things they do just to kind of smokes and mirrors and show this and show that, and then end up running a lot, all the same plays that they do. But there's a lot, like you said, Central and Northwest both are teams that do a really nice job of changing things, shifting things, squeezing their alignment down. You saw them several times in a really squeezed alignment with the receiver squeezed down inside, and just changes the outlook of how you're going to defend, and if you're going to line up inside or outside, if you normally line up outside. There's a lot that goes into just aligning, how to make sure you're aligned properly to different things. So it's much more complicated, I think, sometimes than people realize.
Well, speaking of that, I'll go back to the drive where you had 5 penalties and twice on illegal formation, I guess, on the punt, and yet we didn't see that from upstairs. What were they telling you about that possession?
Well, we shifted, and we didn't have to shift. We shifted John off the line, and the tackle was eligible, an eligible number, which you can have as many eligible numbers on a punt team as you would like to have. So when he shifted off, supposedly that's an illegal formation. We've ran it before, and it hasn't been a problem. But I talked to Phil Laurie today, the head of the MIAA officials, about it a little bit. And you can do what we did. You just can't be completely over the ball as a center. You can't be all the way on the ball as a center. So, we'll have to look at what we're doing there a little bit. But the biggest problem with it was the first time we did it, as John went across in motion, we on the sidelines, we just thought John turned up too early because he really looked like he got downfield too quick, and that was what we thought the call was. But the officials didn't communicate that to us, which they really should have, and then we line up and do it again and find out that they were calling it illegal formation. So that's where that happened, and then we had a delay game, and so then we put, we wanted to have the first one. We didn't want to have the second one.
I wondered.
And then Griffin gets a great punt, and it's rolling down inside the 5, and then we don't down inside the 1, and they get it on the 20.
Yeah, that's all right. It worked out all right.
It was a mess.
They win. They punted from there, and you end up with scoring. After you score, Northwest has the ball. They start a drive. They're on 32. They're moving it, have a couple first downs. Devontae gets his second interception of the ball game. That one was thrown a little high and tipped, I think, and he was back behind and pulled it in. You're at your own 31 with 1:19 and a half. What were you thinking there? Did you want to be aggressive, or did you want to see how first down went?
That was a tough call. You don't really want to have to line up and punt again if you could keep from it. And so Coach Rampy say, well, are we in Mayday or are we not? Or, well, let's see. That's exactly right. Let's see how we do on first down here. So we looked like we're going to pick up 6 or 7 to me, and we pick up 3. So we're in 2nd and 7, and so then we try to run the ball and don't get much, and so then it becomes, well, we got to get a first down here because we don't want to have to punt. But we didn't get a first down, and they elected to just go let the half run out. So that was okay with us.
Yeah, they have one timeout left and chose not to use it. 7-0. Obviously a hard fought game, and again dealing with the elements a little bit. What was your mindset or your message to your team at halftime?
Well, we just, as we're going in, too, it's normally a 20-minute half, and as we're going in, Jim came over and asked if it was okay to have a 15-minute half, and they wanted to have a 15-minute half. We felt like that was the best thing to do because of the weather. So, boy, cutting those 5 minutes out, it seemed like everything went really, really fast, though. We walked in by the time we get in there, there's a clock in the locker room, and it's below 14. And because of the weather, we wanted to get them back out with 6 or 7 minutes to make sure we got good and warmed up well. So that leaves you 6 or 7 minutes to talk to them. And it usually takes the offensive and defensive staff, 3 to 5, 6 minutes maybe talking on what they're going to do as adjustments before they actually talk to their unit. So usually when we go in, they go ahead and separate and talk, and then I talk to the group, and then they come back together and talk to the offense and defense. So that really, really went fast, though, the half did. And so then, the main message was, hey, we're defensively, we're playing lights out. We got to continue to do that and really come out aggressively and offensively. The opening drive of the third quarter is always extremely important, and we want to go get some first downs. We'd like to score if we possibly can, and we came out and had a really, really nice drive to begin the third quarter.
It was a good enough start. It unfortunately just would not last. We'll step aside, owe you another break with Coach Beck. When we come back, we'll get into that second half and eventually look forward to Saturday's homecoming with Western. That and more back on the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL after this.
Digging deeper to make ends meet? Now you can get a 30% tax credit with a geothermal heat pump system from Climate Master. Climate Master geothermal systems tap the constant temperature of the earth to provide heating, cooling, and hot water while keeping your home comfortable all year long. Plus, Climate Master systems are incredibly efficient. If you're interested in saving up to 80% on your energy cost, call CDL Heating and Cooling for a free estimate in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, and Nevada. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Here's the snap. Chevy runs deep, and the pass. Holy moly! Chevy Silverado with a big catch.
Chevy Cruz blocking the competition, and look at Silverado go.
Chevy outperforming everyone.
Chevy at the 10, the 5, touchdown, Moley Automotive.
Moley Chevrolet GMC of Pittsburgh wins the game, and all fans get up to $8,000 off all remaining 2012s in stock.
Moley Chevy GMC of Pittsburgh, your four-state Chevy Buick GMC dealer. Proud supporter of Pitt State Gorilla Football.
Moley Automotive, best price always.
I started going cold turkey. Well, at least when I'm in the car.
I know I shouldn't do it, but it's so hard to stop. That's why I hide it from myself, so I won't be tempted.
I used to do it all the time. I stopped by locking it in my glove compartment.
My friend used to do it way too much. Now I turn it off when we're in the car.
My solution is simple. I just don't do it. There are lots of ways to stop yourself and others from texting and driving. How will you stop? Tell us at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
In 1983, Dick Webb started a contract switching business at the kitchen table of his Pittsburgh home. It took one man with vision and determination who thought he could to launch an international company that is proud to call Southeast Kansas home. This vision and determination is practiced every day by the 3,000-plus team members that serve our customers and follow Watco's Customer First Foundation principles to improve customer satisfaction, improve profitability, and do all for the long term in a safe manner. Watco supports Pittsburgh community athletics and wishes the Pitt State Gorillas the best of luck.
Gorilla fans, for the best Pittsburgh State football coverage, tune in to KSN 16, your hometown sports. I'm Eric Kinnett. We'll have those highlights after every Pitt State game, and during the week, we'll have the latest news and preview the next opponent. And don't forget about the Tim Beck television show every Sunday night on KSN after the evening news. So if you love Pitt State football, check us out. KSN 16, your hometown sports with Eric Kinnett.
Because your life matters, Via Christi Cancer Center in Pittsburgh is equipped with the latest treatments and the expertise needed to accurately treat all types of cancer. We realize that when we're treating cancer,
We are really treating people
who, more than anything else, want to receive the care they need while staying close to home. Via Christi Cancer Center, because your life matters.
The snap, Avanoa looking left, back right, pump fake, it breaks down, he'll scramble to his right on the run, throws to the goal line, it's caught, touchdown, Gorillas, Luke Rampy on a comeback, and Pitt State, an impressive start to the second half, march right down the field.
860 AM, KKOW.
Welcome back to Chatters and the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric. Eddie Lomshek along with Pitt State head football coach Tim Beck. Let's draw one final name. This is a $25 gift certificate right here to Chatters and the House of Wings. Also, dining only includes drinks. Expires at the end of the calendar year. Nancy Riddell, how about that? Double dipper over at that table, so that's a good day. Good day. Thank you for being here. All right. Well, we hear the play there that caps the scoring drive of the second half, and you come out, and it's more than a good drive. You're knocking them off the ball. Bryston and Jason, you run your first 5 plays, get 5 first downs. They're getting 12 and 13 yards a crack. Did you wonder what was up? Are your guys that motivated?
Yeah, it was really amazing how we came out. First of all, we didn't do a good job on the return. We were on about the 13-yard line. So it's like, man, we really got pinned.
Trez brought it out of the end zone.
Yeah, we shouldn't have brought it out. And next thing you know, we're marching right down the field and it was a great opening drive of the third quarter. The only problem with it was it didn't take enough time off the clock. It needed to be about 7 or 8 minutes.
Demoralize them a little more.
Instead, it was about 2 minutes. But that's their job. Go out and score, and we did a good job of executing it. 7
plays, 87 yards, 241 on that touchdown. We heard Anthony. He's checking left and right. It looks like he did a good job to go through his progressions, and Luke, those two guys are on a different wavelength together. And Luke, break off his route and come back to him a little bit?
Yeah, he did. We came off our route because Anthony got flushed out of the pocket and then starts rolling to his right. And you're exactly right. They've got a good feel for each other. And Luke comes back to him and he sticks it on him. And nice throw and catch by them.
Northwest comes back and like good teams do, they have an answer. 6 plays, 75 yards, 214. Adams to Simmons, 19-yard touchdown. 10-minute mark, and it's game on from there. You get a good field position. Next return, you're out to your 43. You get 1 first down, then you have to punt it. It's a touchback. And so you break serve. They go down. They get a field goal. So to stop them and get out with the lead, did you feel that was pretty big at the time?
Yeah, I thought at the time that was really big. But we really there's just several things in the game that you look back and you say, man, if we could have just done this or just done that. And the one is after being up 14-0. Man, it would have been nice to get a stop there. But they're like I said, they've scored 136 points in the last two games. You're not gonna shut them out,
right?
And they're going to score eventually. And that was their first drive, I believe, of the second half, and they did a nice job of executing and answering the scoring drive that we had, and it really gave them a lot of hope.
Then the field goal drive, you go 3 and out from your own 10, not a great punt. They have it at their own 42, but you force them to 3 and out. John gets a 26-yard return. You've had the ball now at your 43, at your own 45. Both those times you don't get points out of it. How painful is that?
Well, it was really painful because, again, we had our chances at both offensively and defensively. We had chances to really do something to make a difference there, and we just didn't get it done. And we had good field position and just didn't get any points out of them. That's really tough.
You look at the fourth down play on the 17-yard line, 4th and 1. You go with the straight give to Mandel Dixon, and I'm sure as a coach you second-guess yourself to death because maybe a hand sweep with the big guys leading or whatever. But eventually, obviously, you just have to make a decision and go for it, and just didn't get enough push there.
The thing about that play, first of all, is third down. When you it's hard to see on video, but really felt like we were a lot closer. And one of our coaches on the sideline felt like we got a first down by about a half a yard. Officials were a long way away, though, and then they come in and spot the ball, and that ends up being really tough judgment calls.
Yeah, it's not an exact science.
It's not an exact science, but we thought initially we had a first down on third down, and then we were just short, and then really thought it was even closer than it was, and ended up being about a full yard, and thought it was probably within a foot, but we still felt like we have improved there, and we just felt like at the time being down or being ahead 14-10, defense having as good a game as they were, just felt like it was important for us to go after getting a touchdown, and got a 100% complete faith in Connor. He's had a great year for us, and just at the time we felt like we should go for it and try to go score. And somebody asked me after the game if you had it to do over again, would you go for it again? I said, well, no, because we didn't get it. If I'd have known that, we would have kicked the field goal at the time, but we didn't. So.
And if you missed a field goal, you should have went for it. It's only 1 yard.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So those things happen, and they get questioned, and that's the nature of the business. Even after that, though, your defense stood up 3 and out. You get the ball back to your own 31, and then it really turned. First interception thrown by Anthony. They scored 21 points in 4.5 minutes from early in the fourth quarter. First interception, and it seemed like both. I don't know if he threw it to a spot or if there was any miscommunication. Do you recall that first one?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do recall it. It was a little vertical route, and we got a little stutter in there, and it's one of those Anthony'd really like to have back. And hey, he's still growing as a quarterback, and what's really sad is when you go back and watch it on video because it had an opportunity to be a touchdown. It was really, really close if we throw it out past the corner because the corner got his feet stuck in the ground, and John was past him, and he gets his feet stuck in the ground. We end up kind of throwing it right to him, and again, it's just those things can happen, and it did, and unfortunately it happened on that play because it would have had an opportunity to be a score, but. Again, we're still learning as we're going, and we still need a lot of quality reps, and that was a tough one to learn from.
They go ahead on a 29-yard pass, a 4th and 4, a slant route, and boy, that's a big one there that gets them the lead. But there's still a lot of game time left. Then all of a sudden, your offense doesn't do what it should. You're not running the ball, and seemed like pass protection wasn't as good. Was your O-line play just a little spotty there?
Yeah, it was, and we come back, try to keep them off balance again, and kind of do what we did in that opening drive in the third quarter. It's just that really changed momentum, not getting the first down, and then them converting to 4th and 4, not just converting it, but getting a touchdown of it. The momentum was on their side, and they just it was rolling, and we couldn't stop it. And the next thing you know, we're I think we panicked a little bit offensively and just didn't bear down and execute some plays. And that's where we have been really, really good in situations like that, where we've found a way, offensively or defensively, to step up and make some plays, but we didn't make them offensively like we needed to.
It's eventually 31-10. You have the ball at your own 25, a touchback, 4:45 to go. And whether or not there's enough time to win the game, you get a chance to operate your 2-minute drill. It does lead to a touchdown. How important is that experience?
If you're on their side, you're still really nervous about the game. And heck, a lot of the people had already left the game because the game's over, everybody thinks. But, as fast as you can score nowadays, we end up going down and scoring. It took a little bit longer than what we'd like, but they end up getting really soft defensively, along with the block punt that we had. A block punt that, we blocked it and ended up getting it around the line of scrimmage. But if we'd have blocked that and scored and that much faster, it would have made things, it would have made them panic even more than they did. But, that's the bottom line. I told our players on Sunday, it doesn't matter, what the score is. We're gonna try to score. We're gonna try to score because things can happen. We've seen crazier things happen, and even though we had a really bad stretch of 7 or 8 minutes there, let's go try to get one real quick. We'll onside it and see if we can get the ball and do it again. And you never know. Things can happen.
Well, you don't get a chance to work on that stuff every game, and that's why I think it is important experience with a first-year starter quarterback. All those things are factors. 31-21 Northwest wins it. We got to go to break here in a second, but you mentioned you're a better passing team, but boy, it's hard to win with 95 net rush yards.
Oh, no question. We got to run the ball better and Bryston. I felt like Bryston had a really good game. He made some nice cuts, ran aggressively. Him and Jason both are good quality backs. We just, as we kept them, tried to keep Northwest off balance at times. We just weren't as consistent with that then later on. And like I said, once momentum changed and they got a couple of big stops, we just didn't handle it very well. But we got to run the ball better than we did the other day.
Well, that'll be important Saturday as well to match what Western will try and do. We'll step aside, take our final break. Back to talk about homecoming with Coach Beck, presented by CDL Electric. Back to Chatters after this.
Digging deeper to make ends meet? Now you can get a 30% tax credit with a geothermal heat pump system from Climate Master. Climate Master geothermal systems tap the constant temperature of the earth to provide heating, cooling, and hot water while keeping your home comfortable all year long. Plus, Climate Master systems are incredibly efficient. If you're interested in saving up to 80% on your energy cost, call CDL Heating and Cooling for a free estimate in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, and Nevada. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Here's the snap. Chevy runs deep. And the pass. Holy moly. Chevy Silverado with a big catch.
Chevy Cruz blocking the competition. And look at Silverado go.
Chevy outperforming everyone.
Chevy at the 10, the 5, touchdown. Moley Automotive.
Moley Chevrolet GMC of Pittsburgh wins the game. And all fans get up to $8,000 off all remaining 2012s in stock.
Moley Chevy GMC of Pittsburgh, your four-state Chevy Buick GMC dealer. Proud supporter of Pitt State Gorilla Football.
Moley Automotive. Best price always.
In 1983, Dick Webb started a contract switching business at the kitchen table of his Pittsburgh home. It took one man with vision and determination who thought he could to launch an international company that is proud to call Southeast Kansas home. This vision and determination is practiced every day by the 3,000-plus team members that serve our customers and follow Watco's Customer First Foundation principles to improve customer satisfaction, improve profitability, and do all for the long term in a safe manner. Watco supports Pittsburgh community athletics and wishes the Pitt State Gorillas the best of luck.
Gorilla fans, for the best Pittsburgh State football coverage, tune it to KSN 16, your hometown sports. I'm Eric Kinnett. We'll have those highlights after every Pitt State game, and during the week, we'll have the latest news and preview the next opponent. And don't forget about the Tim Beck television show every Sunday night on KSN after the evening news. So if you love Pitt State football, check us out. KSN 16, your hometown sports with Eric Kinnett.
Because your life matters, Via Christi Cancer Center in Pittsburgh is equipped with the latest treatments and the expertise needed to accurately treat all types of cancer. We realize that when we're treating cancer,
we are really treating people
who, more than anything else, want to receive the care they need while staying close to home. Via Christi Cancer Center, because your life matters.
860 AM KKOW.
Welcome back live to Chatters and the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric. Just a couple of minutes here with Coach Beck. We'll look ahead to homecoming. Missouri Western in town, number 4 team in the country, before losing at home to Southern. They fall to 16 in the poll out today. Pitt State tied for 7th now with Minnesota Duluth, but Western, a team that is a veteran team going at the start of the year, had 8 back on both sides of the ball. Big physical quarterback, their coach's kid, Michael Hill, by far and away the leading rusher in the MIAA, good 200-pound back from there in St. Joe. So start with their ground game. What do you see from them running the ball?
Well, they do a nice job up front, first of all, and then he, has shown some flashes of, I hate to say it, but he's shown a couple of runs that he looked like Ronald Moore a couple of times, where he's been real physical and hit somebody and kept his feet driving, and then spins off and runs over another one, and he's a really good back, and he's really improved himself. We've seen him before, and he's from right there in St. Joe, like you said, but he's really improved himself and made himself a lot better. So, I don't know what his average is now, like 170 a game, 161 a game, and
7.1 per carry. Yeah,
unbelievable. And so, they have been more of a passing team in the past, and because they're doing so well in the run game, it's really really allowed them to do some nice things in their play action game and those type of things. And Coach Partridge's son's a big kid now. He's
6'4", 230. Yeah,
he's a big kid, and he has taken a lot of shots on the video that we've seen, and he pops right back up, and he's ready to play. So he's grew up around football all his life, and he's a good football player.
Defensively, historically under him, they're a 4-3 defense. David Bass, an outstanding rush in, very veteran team on that side of the ball. What do you notice about their defense?
Their other defensive end's really good too.
Yeah.
I wish it was just on one side, but it's not. They do a nice job. Their defensive fronts can really get after you, and if they know you're going to throw it and they can peel your ears back, you better look out, because they can get after the quarterback. So we kind of caught them off guard last year when we went up there and beat them, but was able to do some things fairly effectively offensively. But again, I know Coach Partridge feels like this is his best team he's ever had there in 16 years. So they're pretty talented. Like I said, they've got a lot of guys back from last year, and I know they're really upset they got beat by Missouri Southern, but they'll have their guys ready to go. It'll be a great game.
What should homecoming mean to your program?
Well, we talk about homecoming being really important to our program, and we want our guys to embrace it, and we want them to understand how important it is to a lot of different people. This is a big deal, but also we got to remember that our number one focus is got to be the game and nothing else.
You got any players going to win King this year? It seems like you've had a run of them.
I hope not. I really want them to focus on the game and not worried about being King, but hey, that's okay, I guess.
X's and O's are one thing. How much do you look for your guys just to bounce back on just being competitors?
We told our team that after the game that this is a terrible feeling when you lose a game like we did the other day, and but they need to understand that feeling needs to be there. It should be there Saturday and Sunday. Monday's our off day, and then it's got to be gone by Tuesday, because you can't let it linger. You can't let it affect how you're going to prepare for the next one. And so we've got to have 3 great days of practice. If we don't do that, then we're going to get beat by Missouri Western, and that's not what's going to, that's not what we wanted to have happen. We want to have 3 great days and get prepared and give ourselves the best chance to beat the Griffins.
A lot of stuff going on with it. Yell Like Hell and Pepper Alley at Stadium Thursday night. Parade Saturday 9 a.m. Kickoff from the stadium at 2 o'clock. Our coverage will begin at 1. Big thanks to Coach Tim Beck for his time, CDL Electric, and Mod and his staff here at Chatters. I'm Eddie Lomshek. Thanks for being with us. Chiefs Kingdom at 7:05.
We're going to have 6 tough weeks.
6 tough weeks, and we'll know a lot more about the Gorillas as they go off week by week. That'll do it for us tonight here from Chatters on the Coach Tim Beck Show. Big thanks to Andrew Orban back in studio. For Coach Beck, I'm Eddie Lomshek. Chiefs Kingdom comes your way next. Royals baseball here tonight at 8. Thanks for listening. Enjoy your Monday.